Friends, your friendly neighborhood Spider Chat here. Wanting to talk about something that we haven't talked about in a while because people have forgotten about it. It's called COVID-19. I'm going to try to keep this video under 5 minutes. I've already done like 2 or 3 takes, and I'm going over 6 to 7 to 10 minutes. Let's try to break it down. So, COVID-19 is still a thing, guys. And I have seen so many headlines and so many op-eds and so many statistics that say, you know, otherwise and for and against and whatever. And if you just take the actual number and the death rate number, I haven't seen it lately, but it's still kind of 1 in 10. If you really break down the full numbers, but it also depends on per area. People, you know, aren't taking that into consideration that, you know, people in Montana who have a neighbor that's 5 miles away versus people in New York and impacted. 2 different areas, 2 different things. But what I really want to talk about is the shelter in place. Why was it put into place? To slow the spread, right? Okay. And people want to keep their eyes on the infection rate versus the death rate in certain areas. Okay, here in Fresno, it's minimal, right? The amount of people that we have in this area versus the amount of who have died. But we're forgetting one thing. We've forgotten that we were sheltered in place. So it slowed the spread. And what's the reason? The reason is so we don't overrun ICU units and the hospitals, because this is a thing. It attacks the lungs, and people can't breathe. If you live in the fucking valley, guys, damn near everybody has asthma. I'm very fortunate that I'm not one of them. But guess what? I have underlying, situations. I have comorbidities. I am obese based on the BMI standards, so that is also something that doctors use. And I also have hypertension, so I have high blood pressure, which is also an issue. And people look at me and like, oh, Chad, no, you're good, you're healthy, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter, guys. So we did shelter in place to not overrun hospitals. Our hospitals now in town are being darn near overrun with not only COVID-19 situations, but also rather other diseases, infections, and other viruses. Those things haven't gone away either, guys. The idea of shelter in place, physical distancing, and the mask, and all the people who want to cry out against wearing a mask, it's like, I'm so sorry that you're being inconvenienced. And you know what? I've seen all the oxygen versus CO2 and bacteria conversations. Nobody's asking you to wear it 24/7. But soapbox. The idea is to slow the spread so that we can deal with every case accordingly so that everybody lives. I would hate to be a doctor or nurse, a head nurse, or whoever else, to walk into a room and go, I'm certainly sorry, so-and-so. We don't have enough, whatever, ventilators or beds or anything to treat you. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to die, because that person has a better chance of living. And that's something I can't get behind, guys. So, proximity is a thing, and I know that most of us haven't had the personal experience of somebody who could be dying from COVID-19. I have friends that have COVID-19 currently and have had COVID-19, and I just now found out that a family member of mine, their dad has COVID-19, and he was double pneumonia, damn near ready to die. He was like there, but guess what? Ventilator was there for him, and he was able to live. He's down for the count for a little while, but guess what? He was able to live because it wasn't overrun. Do you think that they would have looked at him if it was overrun with a bunch of 50 and under individuals? No, it wouldn't have happened. So when it gets down to it, guys, I don't care what numbers you crunch. I don't care what op-eds you read. The thing is just be a damn good human. Throw on a mask when you go outside for a couple hours. You know, I know there's exemptions, but you guys, come on, man. Go to the grocery store, just put on a mask for what, an hour? That's all I have to say. Think about others before yourself. Seriously.